In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add personalization to your bots. At this time, we support personalization in the text element, the card element, and the gallery element. We may add it to other elements in the future, and you will know if you have personalization available to you if you see this little icon on the particular element that you're using. Okay, so it's pretty simple to use. What we can do is we will go ahead and say hello. And right here, I'd like to add somebody's first name, and I'd like to add somebody's last name. Okay, so now the one thing we need to make sure that we're doing is that the cursor is placed inside the element before clicking on this button. So if you click off of it, you'll notice that the cursor is not there. So then, of course, the personalization variable, we won't know where to actually place it. So we have to make sure that we actually click in here and you see the flashing cursor to be able to place that. Okay, so right here we have hello first name, hello last name. This is a demo. Okay. All right, now what we can do with these is we can create what's called a fallback. Okay, now if I click on any of these, if you notice, I'm going to click this, click off, and click that, so you'll see first name here. Now you can switch the variable type here if you'd like. You can also simply just delete a variable if you don't want it in there. Just go ahead and delete it, and of course you can add it right back in at any time. Now, for the fallback, what this means is what I'm going to do is replace, if Facebook or we cannot find the subscriber's first name, there's a fallback that's allowed. So an example of that might be the word friend. Okay, so it would say hello friend instead of the actual first name. Now, you can actually leave this blank, and at that point, it will not put anything. So if I leave both of the fallbacks blank, for instance, on this particular one, what it would say is, if it couldn't find the first name and the last name, it would simply say, hello, this is a demo. Okay, so it wouldn't put anything there. But if you do want to add some personalization to it, and just in case we can't find their name and want to add that fallback, you can certainly say something here. And all we will do is whatever you type in here. So for instance, if I say friend, that's what will show up here if the first name cannot be found. And if you notice, I click back on it, and there is friend, the fallback, okay? All right, so now there's very few instances where the fallback would actually come into play. Sometimes, Facebook has issues when we're sending a message out where it just hiccups and it can't seem to find that name, so we can replace it at that time. It's very rare, but I will show you one instance where, at least through Segmate, where the fallback will become important, and that's going to be with ad engage campaigns, and I'll go through that here in just a second. But for now, I just want to go ahead and show you this demonstration. Okay, so we have hello first name, hello last name. This is a demo, and I'll just do a quick button here, and I'm just going to say next, and we'll go ahead and create a new one here, and we'll say, thanks for clicking, you rock, and we'll just say their first name. Okay, and I'm going to leave no fallback in here. All right, so what I'm going to do is give this a name. We'll just call it demo personalization, and we'll go ahead and save that. And then what I'm going to do, just for the sake of example, is I'm just going to create a keyword and attach it to this so that we can do that on a demonstration. As you'll see, I've been testing a lot here, so I'm going to actually go ahead and get rid of these and save that, and I'll add a new one in here, and we'll call this fallback. Okay, and we'll choose that bot I just created. Demo personalization, what did I call that? I called that demo personalization, I believe is what it was. Let's make sure here. Yep, I did. Okay, good. All right, so let me go ahead and save that. And then what I'm going to do is open up the other browser here, and I'm going to go over to our test page here, Segmate Community, which is what we use a lot of testing for. So if you go here and do any replies or comments, it's most likely you're not going to hear anything from us because we just simply use it for testing. All right, so I'm going to say fallback. And what's going to happen here is it's going to say, hello, Keith Gosnell, this is a demo. I'm going to hit next. And thank you for clicking, you rock, Keith. All right, great, I rock. So that is basically how that works. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just remove this test here, this test keyword. There's one instance here, though, I do want to show you where the fallback will become important, okay? And that is on ad engage. Now, right now, when you use Add Engage, and if you're not familiar with Add Engage, please review the tutorial. I'm not going to go through all the settings here, but it basically gives you the ability to select a bot, and I'm going to go ahead and pick that same bot here. And you can have this bot be sent when somebody clicks on your ad. Now, how that works is through what's called a little piece of JSON code right here. Okay, so what we do is we copy that, and what we can do is go into one of our ads, and we can simply, and I'll actually here show you just a second here. If we have the messenger set up and we want to set up messages, this is where we paste this. Okay. All right, so we go ahead and paste that there. Now, Facebook does not recognize dynamic text when you're using this method, just this JSON method. If we're sending out our messages through any other of our features, it will work just fine. Now, this here will only, on the initial message, we'll use the fallback. Once they've interacted with Messenger, we'll then be able to at least use their name. Okay, so this is something I'm keeping an eye on in the Facebook dev forums to see when they add support for this, for the JSON type of messages. Okay, so let's just go ahead and preview that real quick. Okay. And that one's here. So hello friend, this is a demo, right? Because I put friend in as my initial fallback, and for the last name there, I didn't put anything. So it just left it blank. So here I'm going to hit next, and it's going to come through, and it's going to say, thanks for clicking You Rock Keith, right? Because at that point, now I know what that person's or that user's name actually is. Okay, so that's the only instance where fallback is going to be very important, is if you're using it for that particular feature. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop back into our little demo here. And we'll go ahead and edit that. All right, so now as I've said, we've added this to the text area, which we have here, and the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and add it to the card. And for here, what I can do is you can add a personalization here, or for the title or the subtitle. So I'll say, just for you, and then we'll say their first name. Okay, and on the subtitle, it might be, something like holiday special designed for, okay, and then we can say their name or whatever, however you would like to use that. And of course, we have to select an image because it's required through Facebook, or the message will not be sent if all of the elements are not filled on a specific message element that we're using. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and save that. All right, so now you're going to see here, we can of course put our fallback here as well, and our fallback here as well, if we want to, and that's how you would set it up for a card. Now for a gallery, it's the same thing, right? Because a gallery is essentially a collection of cards. Okay, so again, it's going to be available to you here in, let's see, your name is, and we can go ahead and add in their name. And of course in subtitle as well, name here is it is available there as well. So that will then come through, and it kind of gives you a little preview here and shows you kind of the names there that you're going to use. And of course, we definitely want to make sure we set our image, because if we do not, then as we try to save, you're going to see we're going to have an invalid format. Okay, and that's very important that we make sure that we complete all of the elements within a message, which is why we don't even allow you to save it unless it is actually all filled out, because Facebook just simply will not send the message at that point. So that's never good, right? So let's just make sure that we have it. All right, so for now, I'm just going to go ahead and just delete that out of there, and we should be good to go. All right, so that is how you use personalization. It's a very simple to use, very simple to customize, and is a great way, and of course to edit as well. And it's a great way to add that kind of personal touch. The fallback is always a nice feature to have as well, just in case we cannot find that person's name. Okay, so that is how we add personalization to a bot. Now, I do want to show you one other, it is related to personalization, but not related to bots, and that is through the welcome message. Okay, now the welcome message right here, this little message, and actually let me go ahead and pull up the chat for that right here, and I'm going to go ahead and delete my conversation so that I can basically emulate that I am a first-time user to this page. Okay, now if you'll notice, it says welcome to Segmate community, to contact us by, click below and all that good stuff, and that is exactly what I have written right here. Now, we can actually add personalization to this particular section of the message, just this message right here, okay? And how we do that, and there's a little explanation here, is simply copy and paste the tag that you'd like to use into this message. So if I want that first name to be applied, or to be displayed, we'll go ahead and copy that and make sure that you get the full thing. It's 2 brackets, user first name, and then a closing 2 brackets. Just copy it, and we'll say, welcome to Segmate Community, and we'll say my first name. Okay, user first name. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, vitally important to understand, that tag and this tag, the user last name and the user first name, only work here. They will only work right here. If you try to put it inside of a bot, inside of any other feature inside of Segmate, your message will not be sent. Actually, excuse me, it will be sent, but it's literally going to show them this. It's going to say that exact same thing, okay? And we don't want to do that. So make sure we only use these tags inside of this greeting message right here if you want to use personalization. If you want to use it for one of your bots in Chat Engage, then of course you just use the method I just showed you by using the personalization button, okay? But let's go ahead and just take a look at this and go ahead. I think I have to refresh, but let's see. Let's do a test here and see if I have to refresh. Yes, I do. Okay. Oh, no, I don't. There it is, right there. Perfect. Welcome to Segmate Community, Keith. Okay, so that will know my name. The reason that knows your name right there with using those special tags is because it's literally going off of the login that the user, because the user is logged into Facebook, right, when they're interacting with your fan page. So Facebook by default allows us to use these 2 special tags to go ahead and pull their name, their first name and their last name, and display it here in the welcome message, which is a great way to personalize the message when a person first visits your page, right? It's the very first time they're interacting with you, and boom, you know their name. So just a nice little touch to add to it, okay? So that is basically how you're going to add personalization to welcome message, as well as personalization inside any of your bots. Again, if you have any questions about that or encounter any issues, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@segmateapp.com. And of course, you can always get a hold of us by clicking this little button right down here in the right-hand corner while you're inside the app, and that will come right directly to us as well.